Yeah, I know. We already did this once, didn't we? It happened again. I did a whole video out the door and there was no audio. You would have seen my indoor-outdoor thermometer and me talking about, you would have heard, how it was in the 50s indoors and outdoors this morning. A pretty chilly morning, and then I walked through the house and I got to take you down the stairs, talked about how my dad was an electrician and we used to have a coal stove, and then I went to the garage and I said, wow, it's much warmer in the garage than it is in the house. It's because the garage with all the cement retained the heat from a couple of days ago. And then we opened the garage door and we went out the garage door and I talked for 10 minutes and there was no audio. So that's why T-Rex, we're doing it again without the lavalier. So there's no cable that can come undone. I don't even know if that's the real issue, but at least it's still as pretty or even more pretty now because the sun is higher in the sky. I also mentioned how I have a very loud voice and my neighbors were still sleeping. That was about 6:45. Now it's about 7:20. And I talked about how chilly and dewy it is this morning. There's a heavy dew condensation on the windows, on the grass, on the car, because the temperature cooled to the dew point last night. And with a dew point in the 40s and the temperature in the 40s, there was fog, and it is still, I call this high barometer cold. That's when you get an inversion and you have crystal clear sky. Well, it wasn't crystal clear, but clear and calm. And now look at this nice glassy water, and we've got a paddle border. Now, before we had dozens of cormorants flying just a foot or two above the water. That was really pretty. So we're looking from Dennis over to Yarmouth this morning, where the temperature is in the 40s in a lot of spots. I talked about how Provincetown, Massachusetts was 48 degrees this morning. Actually, it got down to 46.4, and that's pretty close to the record low temperature for Provincetown, which was the same temperature as the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, and northern Maine this morning in the 30s. I think Holton, Maine, about 39. Pretty close to record low temperature for the day, thanks to this high pressure system that came in from Canada, and the cold air pushed all the way back into southwestern Connecticut. Remember yesterday morning, Danbury was 70, this morning in the 60s. Not that that's cold, but the cooler, drier air from Canada this week certainly has been a treat the last 2 days. And have a front go through without any big storms, that was a real treat too. The satellite imagery does show those clouds though. That's the sort of front that's stalled south of New England. That front's going to start coming back toward the north now, but it's going to take its time. We're going to have another day that's quite nice. I think those clouds are actually going to evaporate that are over Rhode Island and Connecticut this morning. There have been some echoes on the radar. And of all things, yesterday was a much more widespread severe weather outbreak in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Lots of reports of hail and flooding and damaging winds, even though the risk for severe weather yesterday was lower than the day before when there was none. There was no severe weather in Pennsylvania 2 days ago. All right, enough of that. Let's go to what's going to happen next. T-Rex is going to just sit there and be cute. I show the Boston 5-day meteogram, and that has the temperature close to 70 with a light onshore wind and plenty of sunshine in Boston today. The dew point slowly climbing. And then we get into the clouds tomorrow. But the good news now is that the front that's coming into New England is really falling apart across southern New England. That was our original guess way back on, I don't know, last Sunday, Monday. But our guess was also that would be it for the front. And cormorant, that happened last time too. Cormorant flew right over our head and Rex barked at it. He didn't bark at that one, Rex. You didn't see it. That the front would fall apart and be gone by Saturday afternoon, but instead it looks now like the front's really going to just kind of wait for some more energy coming out of Canada to come through here, southern New England that is, on Saturday night and during the day Sunday, but without a lot of rain for southeastern New England. Well, I guess we get the sunrise over the oak trees here now. Takes some time. The sun's been up for probably an hour and a half, but we don't see it here, much like in Weymouth. We face the wrong way to see sunrises for the most part. But I appreciate everybody on Twitter. E-Weather on Block Island and showing the sunrise. And Jay vacationing this weekend in Edgartown. Thank you guys for posting. See, I wouldn't have had that. I just discovered it when I went in to start editing, and I discovered I couldn't edit. Anyhow, there's the paniculata. Anyhow, you have to drink every time TK says anyhow. If you watch all the time, you know what I'm talking about. That's my word to transition to the next subject. The next subject would be the timing of this front and the possibility for severe weather in New England. If it happens, it's going to happen mostly in western New England, late tomorrow, and maybe eastern New England on Sunday. So today, here's the HRRR with those showers over southeastern New York, kind of decaying, maybe a few raindrops or a thunderstorm in Connecticut this afternoon, but it looks like we're going to wait for, that would be the warm front. The cold front coming in tomorrow, there the showers and storms could be strong to severe in New York, coming into Vermont tomorrow during the day, and then across northern New England tomorrow night. This is the 6Z HRRR, so it only goes out to tomorrow, the middle of the night tomorrow, with the front kind of falling apart right over New England and waiting for more energy on Sunday. So should we go right to that? Yes, let's get to the Euro that I've been stopping every day. I've been stopping it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Well, I'm going to go and stop it tomorrow at 5 p.m. Because there's been a pretty dramatic shift in the timing and strength of this front. Now, most of New England not experiencing rough weather tomorrow until late in the day, and even then it's mostly just Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And you can see more energy coming across the Great Lakes, and it's going to be pretty interesting what happens to the front on Sunday and Monday. So we'll just advance it 24 more hours and go to Sunday at 5 p.m. Now you have another front that's at Montreal, and the energy is really getting diffused. So the front in southern New England's fallen apart with very little rain from Cape Cod to Connecticut, if any, but a lot of clouds and the southwest wind, and much more humid. The dew point's going to be near 70. And then on Sunday night, the cooler air comes in. It's called cold air advection. It's not going to be quite as chilly as it is this morning, but because there's going to be a breeze, but it is a cooler air mass that's going to come in and mostly dry. And so I think we're still going to be able to manage 70 degrees on Labor Day Monday with increasing sunshine from north to south, maybe some instability clouds, but a nice day. And then that high pressure system just kind of sits over us most of the week. Could be some record challenging cold here on Tuesday if we can decouple the atmosphere with a dew point in the 30s in southern New England. We may have some frost advisories in parts of New England, but looks like there's still a breeze. And then Tuesday night, that's when the breeze really lets up, but the air mass is starting to warm up, and then it looks pretty much smooth sailing until late in the week. Then all of a sudden, what is this coming up the coast next Friday into Saturday? Stop at Saturday morning. Oh my goodness, where did that come from? That looks like a hybrid nor'easter next Saturday morning. Are you kidding me? 996 low near Long Island. Oh my goodness, this is so different than how it looked yesterday. For reference, let's show you yesterday's map for the same time. The output from the Euro for next Saturday morning. We're going to have to play this game again where we stop it every Saturday. That looked like a flat, fast flow across Canada. A lot of cold air in Canada, but we were still on the warm side of a front. Now look at the difference as we go back to what it looks like now in the guidance. A nor'easter, where before the barometer was around 10, 20 or so. Now the barometer is supposed to be about 999. That's amazing difference. So you think, well, what are we going to do? We're going to add them up and divide by 2 and say that there should be a front coming through again next Saturday because the weather does have rhythm. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Tim, that looks like a hurricane or something. Well, let's go to the National Hurricane Center guidance. And it looks like the system in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean still has only about a 40% probability of turning into a tropical storm. I think, what's the next name? Francine, is that right? The F storm could be in the Caribbean by the middle of next week, so that would be not near the East Coast. And the one behind it from Africa, that would only be in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not either of those coming up the coast, but it could be the backside of these high pressure systems. We lucked out on the last one. Often these big strong highs that are coming in, like the one next week, on the backside of those, you have to watch for storms. So that could be a fast spin up of something sort of characteristic of maybe Hurricane Bob in 1991. That's how Bob kind of formed. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, you know, it's things that we can talk about here. I like to show the big picture and all the things that can go wrong. But for now, the only thing that went wrong was my audio. So this is the natural mic on the iPhone. Fortunately, there's no wind, so you can hear the birds. Not that many birds. I was woke to the first bird was about blue jay at about 5:45, and then a hawk was screeching over my head. Look at T-Rex. He's just watching. What are we doing? Didn't we already do this? Yes, we did, T-Rex. And then and more, we went to DennisPort yesterday, old stomping grounds. I worked at the Ebb Tide for years and years. Anybody that knows DennisPort knows this house with the big Larry Bird, the wood cut out, life size, and everyone knows that it's Peter that lives there. And He's quite a character, and he's got a sign in his driveway that says no turning. So I didn't think he was going to be there. I just walked T-Rex in his driveway, and I started turning and turning as a joke, and I didn't realize he was going to be there in his vehicle. We told stories. He played the flute for me. We reminisced about Mark Hennessy. That was pretty sentimental, and it was fun to see you, Peter. And then somebody else pulled into your driveway after you left, and they said, "Is Peter here?" I said, "No." And they said, "Who's this?" And I said, "That's T-Rex." And then T-Rex jumped in the car with them. He would have taken off with them. They thought he was so cute. That was cute. And also the sky, amazing sky over Nantucket Sound with all the different cirrus and altocumulus and cumulocirrus and a Fallstreak hole with a sundog in it. A Fallstreak hole, supposedly, it's a mystery, formed by suddenly super cooled water vapor turning into ice crystals and dissipating or falling. And it's you can Google it, and I thought it was a very special occasion. Voice in my head said, go to Nantucket Sound. I did, and that's what happened. And here is the and more on another day with Two-Take Tim and beautiful Fallon's Pond. Oh yeah, and all the comments, sorry, the comments, am I going to charge a subscription fee? Maybe, but it's not going to be, there'll still be free videos, and the videos say maybe 10 cents a day, and then I would make them free the next day, something like that. So today's video would cost a dime, and then yesterday's video would be free. And I'm not sure how that's going to go. So that would be a membership video, but there'll still be free videos. So I appreciate all your comments and input and everything on that. And I'm not going anywhere. Just, oh yeah, and someone said, your whole life is a vacation. What do you mean you're taking a vacation next week? Well, that's when I stay at someplace I'm not already paying for, like the house in Weymouth or here in South Dennis, or going to the dunes of Cape Cod. All right, stop rambling. And more from yesterday. Wow, yesterday it was 109. Today it's only 91 in the direct sun on a cheap thermometer. T-Rex, this way. What are you looking at? Looking for the birds. Yeah, we've been doing indoor work for the most of the time today. It's cleared out nicely around noontime. Now we're facing south, so the wind's behind me, blocked by the house. But it was kind of chilly. I was closing windows. And check out the sky waves. Tremendous. Way up there. So that's wind from the west-northwest, high in the sky, where the temperature up around there is probably about 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you have the cirrus clouds and the rays of the sun. So that's that one right there is anthropogenic above some cumulus that are coming in from the east. So differential advection, warm air advection up in the sky, cold air advection down near the ground. Rex, can you get in more? What's going on? He rolled in something today in the backyard. And I think it was grease ball out of some of the equipment that they used to do the landscaping. And he got all greasy, but he loved it. And then I had to give him a little shampoo. Very rare that this one gets a shampoo. Put your ear down. Yeah. See those sky waves? Gorgeous day. Where is this place? T-Rex. Old school. Been coming here for about 60 years. Using that truck. Oh, that guy. It's dusty here in South Dennis. Oh, DennisPort. Haven't been down in this part of town in quite some time. Come down and check out the water. And look at the sky. Look at that texture up there. It's almost like a little Fallstreak hole between the sort of puffies and the feathery clouds right there. The corner of Chase and Inman. You know where we are? Look at those waves over there. Almost looks like some altocumulus castellanus. Wow. So many names in Dennis. North Dennis, South Dennis, West Dennis. This is DennisPort. Yet that sign says Dennis Seashores. How'd you like to stay in that place? Peter, we're turning in your driveway. I'm turning in your driveway. Turning in your driveway. I'm turning in your driveway. Do you mind if I turn in your driveway?
Driveway, brother. I'm going for a swim.
Good to see you.
I'm waiting for my Ariel, the bartender from, well, years ago. He used to work at Fish and Chips. He lived in my house for 11 years.
So people don't know what I'm talking about turning in your driveway. That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks for turning. What are you doing? Where are you headed?
This is called Out the Door Weather and More. I do a video with this dog every day, and you're going to have to get right on there tomorrow morning and see yourself with your heart and Band-Aids. And Larry Bird. Everyone knows your house because Larry Bird, full size, is pasted right on the front.
You got it, brother.
Last time I saw you was at a Celtics game, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't gone for a while. So what are you doing?
Are you wearing any clothes?
Got the bathing suit, yeah.
I'm just walking around. I was thinking about going to Ocean House, and the sky is extraordinary right now. Yeah. I do document sky waves, and we've got, look at that, Sundog right there. You see that prism? Look at that. Wow. So I just walk around telling people, look at the sky, isn't it pretty? Much like Mayflower Beach, you have to know somebody to park around here somewhere. Just don't turn in Peter's driveway. All right, I'm gonna blend out this music, which I'm gonna get a copyright infringement for, and give you the time lapse from Weymouth today. Gorgeous day. This is Nantucket Sound. And that's a Fallstreak hole with a Sundog embedded. Once in a lifetime weather happens to somebody, somewhere, every single day. All right, so we're just walking along, and somebody stops and opens their door, and T-Rex jumps in and gets on their lap. Nice knowing you, T-Rex. Bye. Last seen at Peter Shankman's house with people I've never met before.
So it's funny, my daughter just got married. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow to Peyton Pritchard. So I want to bring Peyton over here and like play basketball sometimes. So I keep like texting him like, Peter, I'm gonna bring Peyton over. He's like, bring him over sometime. We're like, we'll have a Sunday afternoon game, you know.
All random, all unscripted. Can't make it up. I thought I was done after the Fallstreak hole, but now for real. Let's play it out. Captain Spacetime. Those are Montauk daisies. They were not pruned in July. They will all bloom full in October. Talk to you tomorrow.